It's showtime, folks. Welcome in. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Friday. We're live today in Albany, New York at the Rivers Casino as we get ready for the Arena Crown AF1 championship game between the Nashville Cats and the Albany Firebirds. Big Joe and I are excited to be here, and we're excited to kick things off to start the show with Coach Jeff Fisher, the commissioner of AF1, and, of course, owner of the Nashville Cats. Coach, what's up?
Good morning, guys. Good to see you here.
We're just going to make you part of the show.
We follow you everywhere.
This Albany for me was where it all got started. You know, last year, first game, boom,
Yeah.
Cats are up here, and so it seems like I've been here every other weekend. But this is a really, really great place to be over the next couple of days, especially tomorrow with this game and the Cats and the Firebirds represented in the game in pursuit of the crown. So appreciate you guys coming and supporting it, and it's been really a tremendous year for AF1, especially in addition to the Cats, how we finished up over the last couple of weeks, and all the credit to Coach Arbette and the players and things like that. So we got a lot to talk about, and there's a lot going on here.
I know you got owners meetings and everything's going on. You may not feel this yet, but when the kickoff tomorrow, is there going to be a little bit of a okay, the first season, like we're in a championship game, first season of AF1. We're in the championship game now. Now you can start kind of looking ahead to next year.
Well, we've been looking ahead to next year for a while right now, We're hoping that this would all come together, and it's come together. I mean, I just stepped out of the meeting, and we were talking about what happened down in our neck of the woods, especially with, the Cats being able to finish the back-to-back games at F&M Bank Arena and in Clarksville and just create a new sense of energy for the indoor world, and we've done that. So we want to carry that enthusiasm and that excitement over to what we're doing here tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pogue was asking me to do something. So,
oh, okay.
Let's get on that. Coach, the groundswell, the organic, what's happened in Clarksville. I mean, it was great municipal. But what's happened, you got people talking. There are watch parties tomorrow in Nashville and Clarksville for this. I mean, is this going as you hope it would? I mean, when you look back 6-7 weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that we were very, very optimistic. As we've mentioned numerous times, Cats got a late start just because of things that had happened. And they just built the momentum, and it just kept building, through the course of the season. So it's kind of what we hope for, what Coach Arbette, his insight and, his ability to put things together year after year after year. But as long as he's been in the 50-yard game, it's been extraordinary. So a lot of good things came together, but we're right now here at the point where, where are we going to take this league?
Yeah.
And those are the discussions, and we have high expectations. A lot of different boxes that have been already checked, but a lot more that need to be checked.
You played defensive back at USC with the Bears. I'm telling you, if I'm a coach and I got a guy in development squad or something, I'm putting him in AF1 as a DB, because having to cover somebody in arena ball is not easy, but I think it builds. I mean, you learn how to do all this stuff, covering and running routes and all that. It's something special. I mean, this is fun.
It is. There's, once, when we're talking about professional athletes, professional football players, I mean, once they're done with school, where are their opportunities?
Right.
Right now we got, there's another league, another 11-on-11 in the spring that is out there, but basically this is another opportunity for them. And, there's some specialized athletes. I mean, what I've come to learn over the last year and a half is that this game's different. And the guys that understand the game, the smart ones, the talented ones, they can really flourish in this game. Now, does that convert over to, going to camp with an NFL team and having a chance? Well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But for the most part, what it ensures NFL clubs, especially at this time of the year, is if you want to bring somebody in from AF1, from the indoor league, can guarantee they're in shape. And they're ready to compete
Yeah.
versus somebody that just hasn't been at a training camp or kind of a late
Yeah.
a late signing or something like that. So we saw some of that last year. Right after the draft, we lost 2 or 3 players, Cat players. I say lost. We were excited about them leaving and going to having the potential of their dreams coming true and being able to go join a NFL roster.
What tomorrow exciting? I mean, like Chase talked about. I mean, it's kind of the haze in the barn and all that, but it is exciting. I mean, it is a culmination of something that you said the Cats got started late. A lot of teams got started late, but now it's come together, and you got a championship tomorrow.
We do, and we have a championship that's going to be played on a non-neutral site, but that's just what we decided this past season. Next year, we fully intend to have a neutral site championship game. We've got we're going to recognize player achievements and accomplishments tomorrow night at a banquet where both teams are going to a dinner function where both teams are going to be present, and we're going to hand out league awards, MVPs and offensive player of the year, defense, specialists, coaches, administrators, and so we got a lot of people to recognize that deserve a lot of credit for what they've done in this inaugural season.
Coach Jeff Fisher is with us, commissioner of AF1, and of course with the Nashville Cats. I know this isn't about you, and you don't like to talk about yourself, so to speak, but with the growth of this league and what you're wanting to do moving forward, how much do you think that you being involved, your history in football with the NFL and the clout that you have, how much do you think that can help grow this league and draw other, like John Gruden being a part of the ownership group, draw other people in because they're like, oh, Jeff's a part of it. This is something I want to be a part of.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't think in those terms. I just, I'm just kind of wired differently. I want to help. I love this game at any level. And this level is one that I just happened to get into, and I'm really, really excited about. I'm learning so much on a day-to-day basis, but really, when you get into it, you want to make the most out of everything that you do. And so I want to make this the best ever. In life and in business and athletics and competition, the better group you surround yourself with, the better are your chances of being successful. So we're in the process of pulling together, expanding, improving our management group for next year and for the future. We fully expect that add new teams. We'll have discussions today and tomorrow with some of those new prospects, potential ownership groups, a couple that we are almost real close to being able to, report and release. We're gonna have some more teams. Obviously, we're gonna have more teams next year. That number might surprise some people. So yeah, just a lot going on. But as we get closer to this thing, I'm just really thankful for what the Cats organization have done. You guys and your support, and of course what Greg has done, and to build this and put this in this position. So it's tomorrow first and foremost is go AF1 in my mind, and then go Cats, kind of thing. I just all year I kind of joked around about it. I just want both teams to win. Anytime the teams are matched up, I wanted both teams to win. I wanted more of the 53, 52 games rather than we had a couple 80, 100 points in a game and lopsided games. But that happens when when you're working things out. But a lot of good things going on.
You talk about you love this game at any level. I mean, to me, right, that's paramount. I mean, you love the game of football at any level, and this is fun and it's exciting, and people rally, get something to cheer for in the summer months. Just to see, Jeff, how this has all come together has been quite remarkable.
Well, I think it was capped off last weekend with what happened in Clarksville. You guys were there. You saw it. You saw the relationship between the players, the game itself, and the fan base. You got to go search long and far to find, a competitive event where fans feel like they're almost on the field, but they're not. I mean, they're just right there. The ball's coming. They're, all those things.
Oh, they're
going on.
trash talking to players, and players are trash talking back.
Forth, and then
the Washington guy from last week for
Corpus Christi.
No, not Corpus Christi. For Southwest Kansas. I mean, the receiver. I could see Coach Fisher not liking that much.
Oh no, I don't want to. You don't want to. It's an emotional game. It's a fun game, and there's part of it. It's always that. There's always that fine line. Where where do you stop it? But I mean, there's things that are going on in a competitive environment in the game that we don't know about, and there's trash talking going on. And so now, do you want to
wide receivers never trash talk?
No, they don't. Nor do the DBs. None of them.
Derek Mason never did anything.
No,
like that.
Are you kidding me? Derek would he'd come off the sideline and he'd rip into everybody on his own sideline just because something wasn't going right. But that's why he was so good for so long, man. And you don't want to take the personalities out. No. You don't want to take celebration out. But there's a fine line between celebrating and taunting your opponent. And it's an emotional game. You go down that path, and you're going to have some problems. We don't want problems. I don't want the little rascals, sitting on their dad's lap, sit there to see or hear or those kind of things. And so, for the most part, the guys are pretty good about it.
Do we have I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but we got a parade maybe in the back? When you guys, the Cats win tomorrow, we get back to town, we have a parade. Chase and I'll set up the parade for if you need to do that.
Yeah, we'll be releasing the flight information when the team's, effectively arriving back in Nashville. And do we shut down I-24?
I should, right?
Yeah.
It'll be shut down already anyway because of traffic. But yeah.
For the 4th of July weekend, right?
Yeah, right. Get it done.
For sure.
Oh, that's great.
Coach Jeff Fisher, let's look. I know you got to go get back into the owners' meetings, but I want you to put your coach hat on, your Cats hat for a second. Playing an undefeated team. You've seen these scenarios in your career where they're probably thinking like, hey, we're good. We've won every game this year. I do remember the first game we did together was against Albany. It was pretty close, and Albany was able to squeak it out, but the Cats played them close. So as a coach, how do you prepare your team to go up against an undefeated squad?
I'll give Coach Arbette credit for that. I believe that he's been slowly building his roster all year long for this game.
Yep.
To match up against Albany's weapons. And Albany's a really talented team, and they are. They're and their record is and what it is right now. But Coach Arbette, he's in there. He's in his room right now trying to figure out another way.
Yeah.
To not get a first down, but to put points on the board. So he built his team. If you want to be the best, you got to build your team to beat the best. That's what he's done.
No doubt about that. Coach, go back to your meetings. We'll see you later. We're excited, and thanks for having us here.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Jeff Fisher, the commissioner, AF1, and, of course, with the Nashville Cats with us. We'll have more coming here on NHL Draft Day. It's Chase and Big Joe. We're live in Albany, New York. 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Joe, 1025, 1063, the game here on this Friday. We're live in Albany, New York at the Rivers Casino as we get ready for the AF1 Arena Crown Championship game coming up tomorrow. And you can hear that starting at 11:30 on both Totally Hits 93.3 and right here on 1025, the game. So Big Joe and I will be on the call. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, 11:30 tomorrow will be a lot of fun, and who knows, man? We've had fun the last couple weeks calling these games, and it should be a really good game tomorrow up in Albany at the MVP Arena as they take on the Albany Firebirds.
Look at you already doing some research.
I'll tell you what, man, I know that team up and down.
He is ready to go. All right, we're ready, Dr. Crane. I don't know if you are, but let's go ahead and hit it with our countdown.
It's the final countdown.
Yeah, there he goes. Right there, queued up today.
Love it. Well done, Dr. Crane. Yeah, we are 57 days out from the start of college football. 57 days out before our long national nightmare is over. Looking forward to it. So as we've been doing during this countdown, famous number 57 jerseys, famous number 57. And, you know, who is your number 57? And again, it's not the fancy, cute numbers of 0 through 49 or 80 to 99, whatever. But there is one of my favorite all-time football players. He's in the Hall of Fame. I think he's the greatest center to ever play football. It's a former Alabama Crimson Tide player. Dwight Stevenson played for the Miami Dolphins. He was Dan Marino's center for a while. Blew his knee out. Awful injury. Only played like 7 or 8 years in the National Football League. Number 57. Also another one, a guy that we grew up on because we watched Chris Berman and him do highlights every Sunday night. Tom Jackson. Former Louisville Cardinal, Denver Bronco, number 57. So there are some 57s, and one more in the Hall of Fame. Ricky Jackson, the former New Orleans Saint linebacker who was amazing, is there. So 57 days out. Now, can you imagine we get down to 3 and 2 and 1, how much fun that's going to be? So there we go, man. Number 57.
Alex Wood, pitcher for the Dodgers, wears 57.
Okay.
That's one. Blake Como for the Islanders is one. I'm trying to think. Who is a Predator? There was a couple of Predators. Gabby Bork. Fabro.
Yeah. Dante.
Yep.
Dante. Where's he now?
He Columbus. About to be a free agent.
Columbus. Hey, you're getting traded. Yay, where? Columbus. Ugh. Can I just stay here and work on the cleanup crew or something? That's okay.
According to basketballreference.com, there are 2 players in the history of the NBA to wear number 57. Hilton Armstrong for the Golden State Warriors and Mike Muscala for the Boston Celtics.
Okay. Yeah, it's a number that, I mean, it's the non-set 50 through 60 or the 60 to the non-sexy number, but there's a few through the 50s that are that way too that nobody really wants to grab.
So Bleacher Report did this. This is cool. Just found this was in 2018. The best players to wear every jersey number from any sport.
Oh, who they have at 57?
Let's see.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
At any sport, it's got to be Dwight Stevenson.
Hang on, I'm getting there.
He's so good.
Okay. It is not. It is Francisco Rodriguez of the MLB. K-Rod was a pitcher for the Angels.
Okay.
He began his career with the Angels. He won the World Series his rookie year. But he was a 4-time All-Star. He's been a saves champion, reliever of the year. It says others of note, Clay Matthews.
Yeah. Okay. God, I forgot about him. Should be in the Hall of Fame. We're talking about Daddy, right?
Yeah.
Clay Matthews Sr., yes.
Did Jack Lambert wear 50?
He's 58.
Okay.
Does that number, did they say 57?
Oh, no. For 50. I'm sorry. 58, they have Jack Lambert.
Okay.
Does
I'm about to
Heinz
say,
ketchup
they got
count?
57 for Lambert. Who?
Heinz ketchup?
57.
They're 57.
Is it not a winner?
It is
Yeah.
a winner. Yeah. Let's see. We just had a couple of others. Number 60, Otto Graham.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then Jose Theodore for the NHL. That's a good one. 61, Josh Beckett, MLB.
Josh, but how do I remember him? He
He's a
played for the
pitcher.
Red Sox?
Yeah, in the Marlins.
Yep.
Let's see for 62, Jim Langer.
Oh, Jimmy Langer. But
60,
you have to let it linger.
63, Gene Upshaw.
Yeah. Yeah, we missed him.
Munchak.
Well, I think we were off. Yeah, we were off that day on the last Saturday.
64, Jerry Kramer.
Jerry Kramer of the Green Bay Packers.
65, Gary Zimmerman.
Played the Vikings. Big dude back in the day.
Elvin Bethea also. Also there. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Let's see. So today's 57, tomorrow 50. I mean, we're going to miss 56. There's only one in my mind.
That's right. The
LT.
only one. That's it. Who else they got on there for 56?
Sergei Zubov in the NHL.
Who's he play for?
I don't know. It's Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
55, Larry Murphy from the NHL, but then they have Derek Brooks and Oral Hershiser.
Oh, nice. For me, it's a guy that whipped my ass in high school, none other than former Tennessee linebacker Brian Kimbrough. If you're listening out in Dixon County, Tennessee football, you guys know Brian Kimbrough, part of that 85 SEC championship team. He, oh my God, I'd like to forget about playing against Brian Kimbrough in high school, but he went to Tennessee and was a great linebacker for them during that SEC run in 85. God, that just sounds so old. Joe, did you get Brian Kimbrough one or two times in that game? Probably not. What are you doing with your hands? Just ask a question.
Why are you moving your hands like that? I'm trying to get a question. I'm gonna ask a question. No, I'm just saying, like, you look ridiculous.
So I sent you this morning. I laughed so hard at this. In whatever Super Bowl it was, I think it was 2003, between the Patriots and the Panthers. CBS had it, and it was like one of the first times that they had players like introduce themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
Vrabel, like the look on Vrabel's face, and when he said Mike Vrabel, you could tell he's like, "This is stupid. I don't want to do this."
Yeah, right. I mean, it was that is so cool, because you look at that Patriots team was just loaded with guys, and they come walking out, and Vrabel's the outside linebacker. It's like Rodney Harrison and whoever, all the other players they had. And he goes, Mike Vrabel, and he had that just scowl on his face. But like, I mean, he's a linebacker. I'm gonna come out being all jolly.
What? Let's see. Titans to wear number 57.
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
Let's see here. See if anyone stands out. Patrick Bailey, no.
Patrick Bailey,
Frank Chamberlain,
Boston College. Patrick Bailey, you know Patrick Bailey's mom.
I do.
Mary Bailey.
Oh,
she ran for governor.
Of
She
whatever state Springfield's in. Luke Gifford is one. Let's see. I'm just going through here.
50. All right, 56.
Tim Joyner.
I don't remember.
For the Oilers. Lenoy Jones. Steve Kiner in the 70s.
Yeah. That's 56.
57.
57.
Lamar Lathan
out of University of Houston.
Good
linebacker.
Justin Staples. I don't know.
Man.
There's not many. 56 for the Titans Oilers franchise. No one. Akeem Ayers.
Boy, he was good, huh? Lord, that was a terrible pick. I'll never forget, there was a Titans coach who came to me the night they picked him in the second round. Was that 2010 or 11? I don't remember. One of those.
Randall Godfrey.
And they said, we got the steal of the draft. I'm like, who is that? He's like, Akeem Ayers. Boy, you got the steal of something. It was awful.
Scott Kozak.
Nope.
No, he was with the Oilers. Nope. Don't know that. Monty Rice.
Monty from Georgia?
Yeah.
Remember they had all the hype, he came in here? Like,
know.
Monty Rice, he's a guy. He's up the Georgia team linebacker. And then terrible. How are you just no good when you get to this level like that? I mean, really no good.
All right. 55.
Stephen
Tulloch. Aaron Brewer. Jayon Brown. Zach Brown.
Can I tell you a quick Zach Brown story? When he got drafted, we were interviewing because he came out of North Carolina. And we said, Zach, you get your contract. What's first thing you're going to buy? What kind of car? He's like, man, I'm gonna go buy me a shark. I was like, what? He's like, he goes, I'm gonna buy me a shark and put it in an aquarium. I said, like at the zoo? He's like, nah, man, in my bedroom. So he's gonna go buy himself a shark. I was like, all right, man.
All right.
Whatever.
Carl Mock, Oilers.
Oh, yeah. Just don't make fun of him. Don't mock him.
Eddie Robinson.
Eddie Robinson, part of that 99 team.
Jim Romano.
I don't know him.
And Tulloch yet.
Until it double nickel, 555.
There you go. Your this moment in Titans number history is brought to you by the Rivers Casino in Albany, New York, which is where we are today.
Probably
John
not.
McClain going to join us. Yeah, thank you. John McClain going to join us coming up next, usually on Wednesdays. And Taylor Hicks is supposed to call in at 10:30 today.
Man, I am looking forward to that. He's one of your favorite artists. He's supposed to call on your birthday, but it's a belated birthday gift for Chase McCabe.
And we'll also, of course, talk Predators draft as it is tonight. So looking forward to that. But John McClain joining us coming up next, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Friday. We are in Albany, New York at the Rivers Casino, which is really cool being here with the Nashville Cats. We just had Coach Jeff Fisher on, the commissioner of AF1. Usually on Wednesdays, we are joined by John McClain and always enjoy our conversations with him, but we had to move some stuff around this week, and so he joins us today, presented by Maple Street Biscuits. Wake up to wow. John, good morning. How's it going?
Great, guys. How are you?
We're good. We're just hanging out in upstate New York, getting ready for the AF1 Arena Crown Championship game coming up tomorrow.
Well, I envy you if you're getting some cooler weather.
Yeah, it is a balmy 63 degrees
Oh,
here.
my
So
goodness.
it is very nice. So I understand you were down in Mobile, Alabama for something kind of cool.
Yeah, the reason I needed to move is because Robert Brazil, Dr. Doom, Hall of Fame linebacker for the Oilers, was involved in something that I think is that one of the coolest things I've ever seen that every city should have. What they've done in downtown Mobile in front of their convention center on the water, they put up 6-9-foot statues of their natives who are in their halls of fame. Robert is the only Mobile native who is in the Pro Football of Fame, but there are 5. And think about this. A town of 179,000 people has 6 Hall of Famers, including these 5 in baseball. And I think you've heard of them. Hank Aaron, Satchel Paige, Sweet Swinging Billy Williams, Willie McCovey, and Ozzie Smith. All of them from Mobile. And I don't know if we have, in a city of 4 million, if we have that many. And those statues were humongous, and they sit out on the street where they're lit up. You can see them anytime. And Robert's the only one who still lives there. So there were a lot of Columbia Blue Oiler jerseys in the crowd. It was a great event. I tweeted videos, pictures, because I was so impressed. And I immediately came back to Houston and went on my talk shows and TV shows here and say, why don't we have something like that?
I think it's a really cool concept. Am I understanding right that Amy was there?
Amy Adams Strunk was there. She was having a blast. She and Robert are kind of like brothers and sisters. They are really friendly. Robert Brazil, of all the players I've covered, I've never known one more appreciative of what he was able to achieve, gave everybody else the credit, and just a great guy to be around. And he and Amy are like 2 peas in a pod. And he was so happy that she came. And she'd been pretty busy. Her daughter Blanche married Bryce Wasserman, the chief of staff of football ops for the Titans, I think on Saturday night. And so I can imagine what that was like for her preparing for it, is they built a building on the football field for the wedding. So Amy was having a blast being around Robert Brazil. And, of course, Robert had a blast. People ask me, of the 9 Hall of Famers I have presented to our selection committee, who has been the most appreciative, and it's Robert Brazil.
So I got a question. He's in the Hall of Fame. Why isn't number 52 retired? I thought Bud had a rule that once you got to Canton, your number got retired.
No, Bud never had a rule like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I thought that was kind of the thing, that numbers got retired when you went to the Hall of Fame. I guess
Well, if it was, I don't know about it. And Bud can't do it unless he does it spiritually.
Yeah. That is true.
That'd be a hell of a story, John.
One of the people I was happiest to see was Earl Campbell, greatest player in franchise history. And Earl, who's in a wheelchair, but still gets around really well and can get out of his wheelchair and walk a few steps to where he wants to sit down. He was there for Doom, and Dr. Doom was so happy to see him, as everybody was, made the trip from Austin. There were quite a few former Oiler players there, and they were wearing their Oiler jerseys for Robert, who wore his Hall of Fame jacket, and it was so hot downtown in the afternoon, but everybody had a blast.
Talking to John McClain this morning on the Chase and Big Joe show. John, a little current NFL things. Aaron Rodgers has said he's only playing 1 year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is that good or bad that he came out and said that?
I think if most people in the NFL are probably happy that he said that, hoping that it's true, then they don't have to see the drama with him every day. I love the fact he went on Pat McAfee and said he doesn't like attention and he'll drop off the face of the earth when he's gone. When I don't know many players who love attention more than Aaron Rodgers does. Why would he do Pat McAfee every week? He doesn't need the $1 million. He gets paid. But I'll tell you this, he doesn't have a clue. He might, what if he has a great year and they come in one step short of the Super Bowl, or they get to the Super Bowl and lose and he plays really well? Of course he'll be back.
Yeah, I just don't know why just to say that now. Just concentrate on the, here and don't say, I'm not coming back. I just, he's always putting something in front of him besides football. And I'm not sure what his end game is here. And you talk about the publicity but he craves it. I mean, he seeks it out even when he says he doesn't.
He loves the attention. He loves the drama.
Is that good though? I mean, if it, with a quarterback behind them, I mean, now you got a quarterback that's going to sit there, whoever the 2 or 3 they got behind him there. But if you're the backup quarterback, you're thinking, all right, this is good.
Well, first of all, the only thing that matters is if he wins. And it's going to be hard for them to win more games than they won last year. But if they do, everybody will be happy. And if, say, they take a step back and win, say, 8 games, then people are going to be happy for him to go and encourage him to take a road out of Pittsburgh on his way back to Malibu.
Right. John, let me ask you this. This past weekend in Nashville, they had the tight end university. All the tight ends in the NFL and some in college showed up here in Nashville for all that. When did the tight end become the baby of the National Football League, where everybody loves the tight end? Because tight ends have been great for so long, but when is this turn where, like, this has become who some think the most important position in football? It's not, but some think that the tight end now has become the glamorous position.
I think tight end use a great idea. Defensive ends started it. Tight ends copied it. Having it in Nashville is really smart because they can work together, learn from the guys who established it, Greg Olson, George Kittles, Travis Kelce. And I thought it was great when Taylor Swift came out unannounced and played Shake It Off. So they get their party time in, but they do a lot of work. And maybe eventually they do running back I don't think a lot of them would show up. Wide receiver, no, they'd fight over who gets the most attention. So I think it's good. And one of the reasons that tight ends have got more attention is because so many of them are really like wide receivers. They're not good blockers. Like George Kittles is a great blocker, but that's rare. And they're more like big wide receivers. They catch the ball in the open field. They score touchdowns. They fall in love with the most famous woman on the planet that gets more attention for them. And I think it's great. For the longest time, they were on the line of scrimmage. They were getting beaten up like the offensive linemen. They might catch 40 passes. If you caught 50, my God, you were unbelievable. And now, in the way offenses are played today, that position is so vital to helping out a quarterback. If you don't have a good one who can catch the ball, you're always on the lookout for one. And they seem to have good outgoing personalities, and that helps. And that attracts all the cameras that show up in Nashville for tight end university.
He is John McClain from Houston. We'll have more with him coming up next here on Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, 1025, 1063 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 the game on this Friday. I'm sensing a Jimmy Buffett theme. No problems there. We're continuing our conversation with John McClain, presented by Maple Street Biscuits. Wake up to wow. John, I'm curious of your thoughts. You know, this is definitely an off-season discussion, but Kansas City, what's going to happen with the stadium? Obviously, Arrowhead has been there a very long time, and I know that the Chiefs and the Royals share a parking lot. The stadiums are right next to each other in Missouri, but now the Chiefs have requested an extension to the end of June for a stadium financing package from the state of Kansas that could see them move across the state line. I mean, you've seen these kind of things before. Maybe it gets worked out and they stay in Missouri, but what do you think's next for the Chiefs when it comes to their stadium?
If a team can't get a new stadium in Kansas City, I don't know any team that could, considering what they've done, how popular they are. A lot of teams are reluctant to cough up public money, but you see the Titans, boy, I still contend that the Titans got a new stadium that was smoother than any that I can remember. Buffalo's was pretty smooth too. Now we've got Cincinnati threatening to move. They're getting public money. Cleveland, Washington, the city council is pushing back on it. Houston wants a new stadium. I know Philadelphia wants a new stadium. Theirs was built after the Texans stadium. So it doesn't hurt to ask, but I do not see, even if Kansas, and they're so close to each other, it wouldn't be a long trip. But boy, I wouldn't want to be the governor, the mayor, the politicians in Kansas City if they let the Chiefs and maybe the Royals, because if the Chiefs were to move to Kansas for a new stadium, maybe they would cave and go, well, we better give the Royals a new one. That's what happened here. Once Bud moved the Oilers to Nashville, the others panicked and they built new stadiums immediately for the Astros and the Rockets, because the Astros were threatening to move to Virginia. And they saw just what Bud did, and they're like, oh, my God. By the way, you were playing Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett and Robert Brazil were great friends, spent a lot of time in Mobile. Robert used to send me pictures of him and Buffett fishing so Buffett could get away from it all. He had been he had been down there for a long time when he was young. And when Robert got in the Hall of Fame, he sent me a picture of him presenting a Brazil jersey to Buffett. And problem was he didn't get Buffett's size, and he looked like a child wearing his daddy's jersey.
That's good.
It's a great story.
John, when the Oilers moved to Nashville in 97 and, 97, 98, the Oilers, and 99, the Titans, what would have happened? What was it, 88, when it kind of got out a little bit about the Oilers in Memphis? Am I wrong about that time frame?
Well, no, they were never going to Memphis. That stadium was terrible. Bud had him play there because he loved Pepper Rogers. And Pepper Rogers was promoting Memphis like crazy in the Liberty Bowl, of course. And Bud made him go at training camp there. And it was what they asked that team and Jeff Fisher to do here the last 2 years and there for 97, 98 before they moved into the new stadium offices and became the Titans was just an unbelievably 4-year period. Fisher did a tremendous job not letting the team go down the toilet, keeping them competitive before they got great in 99. And but they were never serious about going to Memphis.
Had they not come to Nashville, John, would they have gone to – because I know they were in talks before Jacksonville came in 95. Would they have gone to Jacksonville? What would have been the end game, John, had Nashville and Phil Bredesen not got involved in this?
Well, Jacksonville had the Jaguars by then. Baltimore was interested because Baltimore had money left over from its sports lottery to build a football stadium. And at that point, Tampa was looking to move, and the Buccaneers were the dregs of the NFL. And Baltimore did not want the Buccaneers. So they reached out to teams like the Oilers. And I'll never forget, Bud Adams asked Mike McClure, who was running the show for Bud, how long does it take to fly to Baltimore? So Bud, for his own edification for coming up for games, and McClure told him whatever it was. And then when McClure told him Nashville was interested, he said, how long does it take to go? Because I don't think Bud was even going to show interest. In his mind, it was a long flight. Well, of course, it's a short flight there in a private plane. So that got McClure, but Bud signed off, okay, if they really want us, then go for it. And that's what happened. That's how Baltimore gave Cleveland's owner, Art Modell, a drop-dead offer, which meant he had 24 hours to take the offer of a new stadium, a new facility, and everything he wasn't getting in Cleveland. And Cleveland lied to him. The mayor lied to him. Politicians lied to him. So when he accepted it, instead of blaming the people, should have been blamed, everybody blamed Art Modell, who could never set foot back in the city until the day he died, of course. Bud still lived here. And so that's how that came about. And then the Buccaneers, all of a sudden, they hired Tony Dungy, and they got good, really good, and ended up getting another stadium.
How close was you talked about the Titans got their new stadium go through pretty quickly. Was the new Texan stadium in the late 90s, did that go through pretty fast as well?
Yeah, that went through real fast because people wanted a new team, and Bob McNair, who was very powerful and influential with politicians and business leaders, and he built that stadium almost. He had taxpayer money, but he put in a lot of his own money, and he paid the expansion fee on his own money because nobody else was stepping up to get another team. But yes, they panicked. The front of NRG Stadium, the entrance is called the Bud Plaza because it's sponsored by Budweiser. And I always call it the Bud Plaza because it wouldn't have been built without Bud Adams leaving.
That's a good one. You mentioned that Houston wants a new stadium. Where would they put it? I mean, would they finally be able to tear down the Astrodome, or where would it go?
Well, first of all, they're trying to get a new practice facility. Their facility's right across the street from the stadium. All their offices, locker rooms, everything's in the stadium, and they're outgrowing it. And they have 3 great fields across the street in the bubble, but they want one somewhere else. And I think what they want is to take the personnel department there and keep administration in the stadium. There's only 4 teams in the NFL that use their stadium for their facility and their offices, and they're willing to pay for it. And I hate to see them go to another county because of the traffic. And I know the players and everybody else would hate that as well. And so they're talking about, well, a renovation would be great. Yeah, well, at some point, oh boy, that's going to cost $700-800 million. Why don't we just go ahead and build a new stadium? Nobody wants a renovation if they believe they can get a new stadium with all the bells and whistles, whether it's Kansas City, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Washington, Houston, and anybody else.
Yeah, that is very true. John, appreciate it as always. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Guys, thank you very much as always. Thank you for letting me move to Friday.
Absolutely. John McClain, presented by Maple Street Biscuits. Wake up to wow. Usually joins us on Wednesdays, but we did a little moving around so he could be at Robert Brazil's statue unveiling earlier this week.
Coming up funny, I mean, just real quick, just all the dominoes that had to fall, because you just think the Tennessee Titans just to show up here. Yeah. All the dominoes and the history that got him here, and it's crazy, man.
Well, now everybody wants a new stadium. I mean, like some of these stadiums, like Cincinnati's is probably 30 years old, 25, something like that.
Yeah, I know they
99 or 2000. No, hang on.
They played at Riverfront through the 90s. I know that because they were awful. At least through 98, I remember.
Paycor Stadium opened in 2000.
Okay, 2000, yeah. Bills are getting a new one. Jags are getting renovated. Miami, what they've done to Miami is fantastic.
Yeah.
Adding that Big Ten on top of that. So, yeah, I don't blame them.
But I mean, it's hard to believe that a 20 to 25-year-old stadium, it's like, all right, we need a new one. I
Yeah.
mean, the Braves played at Turner Field for maybe 20 years.
Yeah, but I mean, you have, like John talked about it, renovating stadiums and
Yeah.
a ballpark. Look, Wrigley Field was built, what, 1915 or something crazy like that? I mean, so I could never see the Cubs playing in another place besides Wrigley Field.
But eventually they'll probably have to.
Like, to me, it's still weird to see the Boston Celtics not in Boston Garden.
Yeah.
It's just weird because they
Yeah.
grow up, it's generations, man, watching that.
Yeah. Very, very, very true. And like, the Titans building their new stadium.
Yeah.
Coming up next, it is draft night for the National Hockey League and the Nashville Predators. We'll kind of touch on that and what they may end up doing later on this evening and other moves they can make. Do that next. We're live again in Albany, New York, from the River Casino for the Arena Crown Championship game, which will take place tomorrow starting at 11:30 on Totally Hits 93.3 and 102.5 The Game. It's Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Friday. We're live at the Rivers Casino in Albany, New York. I mentioned the Preds draft. We'll get to that coming up because first we got to talk to the great Christopher Dwayne Sanders, forever Titans wide receiver, who is on the line with us. And Chris has covered a lot of Cats football this year, so we can talk a little bit about that. What's up, Chris?
Man, I'm doing good. How y'all doing, man? Are y'all chilling down there, relaxing while we down there burning up?
Yeah, we are. It was like 63, 64 degrees this morning.
Gosh, I'm jealous.
It is wonderful. Coach Fish is here. He says hi, so he's
Coach Fish, how we
around.
Doing?
Yeah, he's running
really
around.
Good, Chris. Thanks for
He's running around. You've gotten to watch these games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you would have had fun playing receiver in this league? Because I mean, you look at just some of these plays that these guys got to make.
Yes.
I mean, it's fun.
It's very, very fun. I mean, I think for me, I don't think I could do it because when I get up to top speed, about 40 yards, I'm just getting up to speed. You're talking about a field that's 50 yards long. That wall doesn't give. I mean, it doesn't move out the way. But man, just watching the skill set, there's some good players out there. If you look at some of the Cats players that are really, really good, like Jackson, Thorpe, Grant, the wide receivers, and you got the quarterback Coca. I mean, there's some skill guys that can play some football. I really, 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 really love Jackson. He's their deep threat down the field.
Well, and I feel like that would have been you. You're the guy in the backfield. You take off. You're in the end zone, beating the DB, going like, "Hey, where's the ball? I'm just sitting here waiting."
Yeah, but see, here's the crazy part about it is we call a motion called the high man motion, to where you can get a running start and the DB is on his heels. What? If I had a running start and it's one-on-one against a defensive back, man, I don't know. I probably would have had about 255 touchdowns.
And that would have been certainly fun.
I'm kidding.
How do you, when you were playing, this Cats team is going up against an undefeated Albany team, and I think the Cats played them close, played them pretty well when Albany was in Nashville. But mentally, how do you prepare for that, knowing that they haven't lost a game and you want to be the first to give them an L this year?
I think the pressure on Albany, because just what you said is that sends pressure on that team anyway. I mean, you look at the Cats. They're playing their best football right now. I know at the beginning of the season they were playing okay and they were inconsistent at times, but they're playing some good football. If you look at 2 weeks ago when they played the Tristans, Corpus Christi Tristans, they played them. They won Tritons. They won 80-18. So they're playing their good football. So right now you got a situation to where Albany, has all the momentum. Albany is the big top dog, but then you got the Cats that are coming in that are playing some good football. I looked at last week and I looked at their receivers. I looked at their defense. I like Perry on defense. On offense, you got some receivers. You got the quarterback Coker that's leading these charts. This is a confident football team, and I think they can go down there and shock the world.
Chris Sanders is with us on the Chasing Big Joe show. Here we go. Dr. Crane hit it for Chris.
Oh my gosh! And
yes.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, that's my favorite song.
That's when you talk about the DBs in arena ball. They're on that island. Me, myself, and I, man.
Hey, let me ask you a question. See if you're a De La Soul fan. What was one of the guys' names? What was one of the guys' names that said his name backwards and it was a type of a product?
Oh, I know. Irv Eatman.
No.
Was it Dave Craig? I don't remember.
No, it was his name was True Goy. His name was True Goy, and it was spelled backwards as yogurt. So you didn't know that.
True Goy. I like that.
His name was True Goy, so it was yogurt spelled backwards. So that was one of the guys that were in their group. He said,
I love it. Can you imagine Irv Eatman playing DB in arena ball?
No. Dude, he wore a size 27 shoe. So how was he going to break on the football? He
would just clothesline you at the line of scrimmage at 6'8", 330 and make sure you didn't get anywhere. I asked Jeff Fisher earlier.
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I asked Jeff Fisher earlier about if you're a DB coming out of college and you don't go to the NFL, but you still want to play football. I'm thinking if I'm an NFL scout, Chris,
Sure.
I'm looking at DBs and arena
Yep.
ball because of what you just talked about.
Yep.
You're on an island. You single
Island.
coverage. You got to get these guys.
Yep.
I mean, I think if you're a DB, go play arena ball to get discovered.
Yes. Yeah, and the thing about it is, and when you're a DB in the league, you have to be a good athlete. Just imagine, just what I talked about, when they have the high man motion and they get a full speed start, and you have to backpedal, and you got to make a decision on what his break is. I mean, it just shows you got to have great instincts, you got to have great hips, and you got to break on the football. I mean, I'm watching this, and I'm like, man, there's no cover 2, there's no cover 3, it's nothing like that. It's Imano. So if you're playing in arena league, you have to have a good skill set, because if you don't have a good skill set, you're going to get exposed, and some of these guys have great skill sets.
Yeah, and like Jeff Fisher said, he goes, I know one thing, if they get called to a camp, they're going to be in shape.
Yes, they are. Yeah, and they're going to be in shape, but also they're going to understand to where you got to win the one-on-one battles. And when you get into the NFL, you got cover 0, and you got to press the corner, and you got to backpedal, whatever you have to do, you're going to understand what it takes to do that, because you're playing in a league to where a receiver gets a running start, and you got to stop him. That takes a great skill set.
When you were working out in the summertime and you're playing for the Titans,
Sure.
and you were out in practice in June and July before camp started, who did you practice with? I mean, could you get somebody to run with you step for step and to make sure you're better? Because I'm not thinking there's a lot of people that could run step for step with you.
Not, you know what? I just kind of, worked out by myself. And the one thing I like to do is I did a lot of speed work on the track, because, I wanted to make sure I get that second and third gear when other guys are at their full potential. But I just kind of worked out on my own. I ran the 200, I ran some 150s, I did some burst off the cut, some things like that to really take my game to another level. Because the thing about it is, there's a lot of guys that are fast, but there's not a lot of guys that are explosive and fast. And I was one of those guys that I was fast, but once I added that other element of being explosive, then it really took my game to another level.
We were talking today about Rod Woodson. I know you played against Rod Woodson.
Oh, yeah.
Rod Woodson,
Yeah.
is he as fast as you?
He was heck to the no. No. He was fast, but he was just a very smart player. And actually, he wanted to fight me in the game. And it was the weirdest thing. I'll tell you a story. We were playing, and, when I was with Coach Steckel, he said, if you don't block, you don't play. So what happened was,
right.
I'm like, oh, my gosh. So now I got to cut Rod Woodson. So I went out there, and I cut him. And he grabbed my face. He grabbed my face mask so hard. He said, Sanders, don't you ever do that again. I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. But my coach told me to block. So what am I supposed to do? So just watching him, the one thing I love about him is he was just a very instinctive player, very smart, understand what coverage it was, and just a great skill set.
All right. So when I'm listening to you tell this story, it kind of reminds me of something. Like in those days, and when I grew up watching football, and I mean even like the early to mid 2000s, DBs were mean. I mean they were mean. You had guys that hit hard, you had guys that trash talk, but what have you. And I mean I know they might not like hearing this now. I don't feel like it's that way anymore. Is that the rules, or is that just kind of the way the game's gone?
It's the rules, because at the line of scrimmage, you can't even touch them. I mean, when I was in the league, I had our secondary with the Houston Oilers, they were crazy anyway. You had Chris Dishman, you had Marcus Robinson, you had Stevie J, the defensive back coach for the Titans, and they would choke you at the line of scrimmage. And then I went against one of the best corners of all time, is Daryl Carter from the University of Tennessee to play for Kansas City. They would choke you at the line of scrimmage. Sometimes I would end up close to the stands. That's how bad I got jammed at the line of scrimmage. Now you can't even touch the guy. You can't even talk bad about him, because the thing about it is they're going to throw a penalty. That's why you see a lot of receivers catching so many footballs and getting these clean releases. When I say clean releases, that means they're not getting touched at all. They're not getting off their spot. So now you have a situation to where the rule allows them to have a free release. So that's why you're seeing guys consistently getting open.
Chris, great stuff. We probably won't talk next week because of the 4th of July, so have a happy and safe 4th. And hey, when we get back, it's just a couple more weeks and training camp is here, so it's almost here.
Let's go. Oh, we're going to have some good stuff to talk about, man. I love you guys so much. I have a great 4th and love you guys.
Yeah, we love you too. Appreciate it, Chris.
Appreciate you, brother. Bye-bye.
Chris Sanders, Forever Titans wide receiver, joining us here on the program. Coming up next, I will give you some thoughts on tonight's NHL draft.
There's a player in NHL that the Preds should draft, and I saw it. I told you earlier,
And I bet I know who you're going to say.
it's perfect for the Nashville. It's perfect for Nashville. It's the perfect name.
Okay,
Do it.
we will discuss that coming up next. Chase and Big Joe, we are presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel. We're hanging out in Albany today. Albany today here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We're live in Albany, New York at the Rivers Casino. Will MJ bringing us back. The Arena Crown AF1 championship game coming up tomorrow. And hey, for once, it was me that had my computer unmuted. So, Joe, it wasn't you.
Oh, okay. I'm
How
usually
about that?
mess up about 99% of the time.
Joe
Draft
27,
night in
Chase 1.
I know, right? Draft night in Smashville coming up tonight. And also, the Predators in Bridgestone Arena are having a draft party like no other to celebrate the future of Smashville and the Nashville Predators. You can go to Bridgestone Arena tonight. More details at theGameNashville.com/events. And then you can catch 1025 The Game's Draft Night in Smashville tonight at 6. It's powered by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429, and Hanks on Broadway, your honky-tonk for pre- and post-game fun. So check that out with Robbie Stanley and Max Hers starting tonight. So what are the Predators going to do? They have the 5th overall pick in tonight's draft, and Joe has found the player that he wants.
Porter? Is it Matone or Matone?
Martone.
Martone?
Yeah, Porter Martone.
I didn't see an R in there. Okay, well, Porter Wagner, Porter Martone.
So,
and then draft Vern Fiddler's son. It's the perfect night.
So Blake Fiddler is who you're talking
Yeah.
about. Vern is going to join DVD today at noon.
Love it.
So
will his son be there in the latter part of the first round?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
He's
But
a defenseman.
Is he good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I would have no issues with that. They need help defensively. So if they grabbed him at the end of the first round, I'd have no issue with that.
Would that be the first legacy player for the Preds?
Yes. And I think it would be the first player born in Nashville.
Oh.
Because
okay.
Blake Jeffreyon grew up in Nashville, but I don't think he was born here.
Right.
And then, obviously played for the Predators.
But why did I not hear the Porter guy's name the other day when y'all were talking?
Well, because he's not a center.
Oh.
So
okay.
a lot of mocks have Porter Martone going to the Preds at 5. And it seems like the rumor mill is saying that Trotz and the Predators really like him. However, he does not play center, and there's an abundance of centers at the top of this draft. I mean, Matthew Schaefer is going number 1 overall to the Islanders. He's a defenseman. Then it's Michael Misa. He's most likely going to the Sharks. Anton Frondell, who's another center, he's probably going to the Blackhawks. And then after that, there's three or four guys that are going to land at those spots. I don't know. Is Adam still sitting there, Dr. Crane?
Yes.
How do you say Caleb's last name?
Farley?
Denoye.
Is it Denoye. Thank you, Adam. Caleb Denoye could go to the Mammoth at 4. Brady Martin, James Higgins, Roger McQueen could then fall with the Predators at some point. Or they could take the best, as George was saying the other day, you take the best player. A lot of people think the best player that could be there at 5 is Porter Martone.
Here's what ESPN says. If they don't like Martone, Trotz has been clear he values upside and skill. If he really wants to do that, James Higgins from Boston College feels like the guy. But there's a sneaky hunch, Chase McCabe, that Nashville could acquire an NHL player and more from the Islanders in exchange for this selection if Higgins is available. Trotz was a little smirky the other day. I know I mentioned
and look,
that.
he knows the Islanders.
He does.
2 years removed from being their coach. So.
Right. So you think they stay at 5, they pick the play at 5, and what about the latter part of the first round?
Then I don't know. Because I think those 2 picks, and remember they have the 3rd pick in the 2nd round tomorrow.
Ooh.
I think those 3 could be in play.
Okay.
I think they walk out of there tonight with at least 1 draft pick and then an established NHL player that they acquire via a trade.
I like that.
That's what I think happens.
So
I don't, I've said this. I don't pretend to know these prospects like a lot of people do. It's just different than you watch college football, the NFL prospects.
All those guys.
You watch college basketball, the NBA prospects. You watch college baseball,
Yep.
But with the NHL, they're getting them from overseas in Europe. They're getting them from Canadian juniors. They're getting them from college. So there's just a larger prospect pool, and I don't pay as much attention. I just know what I'm kind of hearing from all the experts. And, Misa is considered to be one of the best players in the draft. Schaefer is the best player in the draft. And then I've read some things on Higgins, who had a good freshman year, Martin, Denoye, and then Porter Martone. So
let me ask you this. If they pick If they take all if they get all their draft picks and they do no trades, is he building for not now, but 3 to 4 years?
He's built, yeah.
Okay.
Basically. Now you could see
I don't wanna hear that.
whoever they take at 5, you could potentially see later this year, but probably not. Like probably more next year. Like if they take Higgins, who's a center,
Mhm.
he probably goes back to Boston College because he's still young. And then maybe when his college season's over, later this year or this season, you could potentially see him.
I don't want to hear that they're building for 28, 29.
But I
30.
mean, that's how the draft.
That's how
it is. That's why I think they pick at 5, and then they try and use those other first rounders to acquire an established player.
Smart. Yeah, I get
That's what I think, because as much as I asked the question during the press conference, Jared then doubled down and re-asked the question. He's not picking a lane. He's staying in both lanes right now. He's trying to be competitive now and also build for the future, which is fine. Willie defended that and said that, it certainly works and we have seen it work, but I think that's only if there's a huge bounce back by this roster this year. If they have another bad year with this roster, you have to pick a lane.
Yep. And you got to pick the lane with a goaltender that
you're locked in for 8 years.
What a terrible contract.
And at that point, if they're having a terrible year, you're doing it with a new coach.
Yeah, you're right.
Like he's not going to survive that.
And then you got to
and then the GM's on the hot seat.
All right, positive thoughts, brother.
Yeah, so
positive.
So I'm looking at this in a positive way of they're going to get a really good player, as Barry Trotz has said, at 5, that is not quite right now, but not quite, far in the future. And then you're going to use your other assets to add to the now.
Okay. No,
that's essentially
right.
If that's the direction that they're going, then that's what they're going to probably do.
We will find out tonight. What time? 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock with Robbie and Max, and I know Willie's going to be down there, and Hal and Mace and Lindsay and all the broadcasters. So they'll come through. Scheduling, as long as it allows, whoever they pick at 5 will call in from Los Angeles. So you'll hear from them, and then somebody from Hockey Ops as well once the pick is made. So, I like these guys. I mean. Everything I've read on Porter Martone says that he could be like a really dynamic winger. And if he's the best player, again, I look at all drafts this way. You get your pick comes up, you look at your board. If it's down to Higgins and Martone and you have Martone graded higher, you take Martone. No matter what position he plays, you take him and you figure it out. I remember Floyd saying that of like, hey, I need a tackle, I need a receiver, I need a running back. The receiver's the best player. Okay, I'll figure it out later. I'll take the best player and I'll move on.
Famous last words. I'll figure it out later.
Yeah, in some way, I know they need a center. Everybody and their mother knows they need a center. But if you truly feel like that the winger is the best player, you take the winger. And you figure it out later.
You're exactly right.
That's what you do, because none of these guys right now, in my mind, are these generational type players. They're good, but there's not a Connor McDavid in this draft, and I think everybody is aware of that.
But is there a Connor David in every draft? No,
or McDavid.
What's his name? Connor McGregor.
Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid.
You said
who did I say? Connor who?
You said Connor David.
Connor David.
He's related to Larry David.
Is he?
So that's kind of how I view it. Raymond and Franklin says the 32 Thoughts podcast would have been helpful for the conversation this morning. I know they just dropped a new one. We haven't had time to listen to.
No, it wouldn't. Go listen to Chase and Adam and Willie. Those guys know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So Vern Fiddler going to join DVD coming up at noon. So look, if you have never listened to an interview with Vern, he is.
What was the game that he win? The Blues game,
St. Louis. Yeah.
Hell
one of
yeah.
the games in that series.
2017, man. I love that team. God, that was a great team.
I'll tell you, like, one of my favorite Vern Fiddler stories is, I think it's right after he left the second time. I think he was retired. He came back for Brent Peterson's dinner.
Yeah.
Brent had to go basically get him off the stage.
Oh man,
because he just kept talking and talking.
oh, he's great. And who was Zolnerchuk? Was that the guy? who
Harry
scored?
Zolnerchuk.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember I went to the locker room after they won that game. I said, all right, to his teammates, I said, spell Zolnerchuk. And it was a fun story. Not a single person on the team could spell his last name.
Nope.
But it was fun. That's why I love that hockey team, and I love that because they're fun. They're good dudes in there, man.
They are fun. We're scheduled to be joined by a special guest coming up next. So we will do that. As you listen to Chasing Big Joe, we're live in Albany, New York at the Rivers Casino here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Jason Big Joe, 1025, 1063, the game here on this Friday. We're in Albany, New York, as we've been saying, from the Rivers Casino. I'm very excited about our next guest.
You should be. You're a big fan.
I don't know how we pulled this off, but musical superstar Taylor Hicks is on the line with us. I guess he saw your tweets
About your birthday.
about my birthday, and was nice enough to join us today. Taylor, how you doing?
Yeah, happy belated birthday.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Nice to talk to you guys. You know, that's the great thing about perusing on X is that you never know when you're going to pick up a press hit.
I know it ends up working out in your favor. So you got a new song out, Porch Swing, that is out now, so people can check that out.
You know, Porch Swing is it's funny. We debuted it on the Grand Ole Opry a couple of years ago, and I've been touring the song for a couple of years now, and the country soul thing. Luckily, Chris Stapleton. It's interesting. He used to send me songs to record, and then he ended up skyrocketing. But the country soul thing it's back. It's prominent, and I'm just glad to be in that line.
Well, and that's what I like about your music, because you're right, country soul is definitely back. I'll tell you a funny story. I actually, first time I saw you was right after American Idol, and you guys did like an American Idol tour, and it came to Nashville, and you were the main one, but like Kelly Pickler was on it, and Daughtry, and some others from that season. So I saw you probably back in 2007 at Bridgestone Arena.
That arena tour was something else. I mean, that's kind of what American Idol. Luckily, that was the only game in town. It was the only singing competition on, and to be a part of that show at that time was a real blessing, because I'm coming up on about 2 decades in show business, and I'm very blessed to be able to say that.
We're talking to Taylor Hicks today on the Chase and Big Joe show. Calling in Chase McCabe's favorite artist, Taylor Hicks. All right, I hear you are playing the Opry July 18th. You've done that before, but I mean, still, right? Butterflies when you get on an Opry stage, Taylor?
Yeah, it's every time. It's a really, really cool experience. And, look, I always promote the Opry, obviously, because I'm, playing it and a part of it. But if you've never been to the Opry and you've never experienced Nashville, before you go to Broadway and get drunk and have a ball, go to an Opry show. And it's almost like taking, when you go to the ocean or something like that, as soon as you get there, you got to dip in it and get into the beach vibe or whatever. I mean, that's kind of how the Opry is with Nashville, so that's something that I always promote, and very blessed to be a part of.
Did you graduate with Cole Kubelik at Hoover High School?
Cole was at Homewood High School.
Homewood.
And he was a couple of years younger than me, but Cole and I played. I played high school basketball at Hoover. Yeah, the Homewood and Hoover were pretty arch enemies. So I knew Cole before, and really happy about what he's doing. He's got a pretty good football brain, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does like that. You're a big Auburn football fan. How do you feel going forward with Auburn now, with everything under Hugh Freeze and all that? Because now that Saban's gone, there's a little life there for Auburn, I think.
Yeah, I think Auburn's going to be fine. I mean, Freeze, he's going to take his time to get in there. I mean, I think they've backed the Brinks truck up for Hugh, and I think. It's interesting. It's just, I always like to tell people that the only time that Alabama and Auburn fans ever agreed on something was the night that they voted for me on American Idol. So I got to be careful about walking being toeing the line between Alabama and Auburn fans, because I still have to sell records and singles. But
oh yes, that's the way to do it right there.
But, I think Hugh's a great coach. I've been able to be around, him for a while. He's a great guy. He's a fun hang. I think he's a really good offensive mind, and I think he's definitely got he's got more horses in the barn than he did in Liberty for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Taylor Hicks is on with us today, Chase McCabe's favorite artist. All right, Taylor, you did the open for the Paul Feinbaum show. I think it's going on 7 or 8 years now. How was it fun writing that? And did you have any idea that Paul was going to use this and keep using it? Because I sing that song all the time.
You know, Paul, he and I, you know, I've known Paul a long time. And, you know, he and I just, you know, he was always kind of ribbing me about, you know, hey, we need a jingle. And then, you know, then when he moved to ESPN and the SEC network, you know, he was like, I really need a jingle now. And I was like, well, I know the ESPN's pockets too. So, you know, we got together and I actually wrote that song in probably about 15 minutes, because I know that the show and obviously you guys are in the business, you know, it's all about the callers, you know. So I mean, you got to hammer that message to call Paul. Sometimes you don't like what you want to hear from Paul, and sometimes he'll cut you off or hang up on you. But you know, that's kind of what meant Paul. But I did that in about 15 minutes. What's funny though is that I got it all done, and I sent it to ESPN, and they called me back, and they said, "Man, you left out an SEC school." And I was like, "Oh man, damn, which one was that?" And they said South Carolina, and I was like, I completely skipped the Gamecocks of South Carolina. I don't think they'll be too happy with me if I didn't put all the. But you know what? They might need to start winning some more football games. But they
there
actually
you go.
will. I actually picked them to upset Bama at home this year. You know, I think they got. I think they got a pretty good team. I think that's a tough place to play.
Taylor Hicks is on the line with us. That's quite I don't know. You're an Auburn fan. We saw Vanderbilt beat Alabama here last year. I think Bama's going the wrong way. That's just kind of how I feel.
It'll be interesting to. I mean, they got. You want to talk about horses? I mean, I think they're probably one of the teams, if you look across the board on returning starters, possibly on defense, probably one of the 2 or 3 top teams in the country that are actually returning a bunch of starters. And that's pretty dangerous, even though, you know, DeBoer's in his second year. You know, I wouldn't sleep on Bama, but, you know, hopefully we won't sleep on Auburn either.
Hopefully. Taylor, thanks so much for calling in today. This is really cool. I really appreciate it,
Yeah,
the birthday wishes and stuff.
absolutely.
But it's so much fun having you on, man.
Yeah, listen, I enjoy the show. I run across it, obviously, on X. And you guys have a happy 4th, and come see me down in Nashville sometime.
Yes.
We will for sure. We'll see you at the Opry coming up soon. Thanks so much.
All right, take care. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. Taylor Hicks, country artist, joining us here on the
Chase's
program.
day.
That's so awesome to have him call in. That's really, really cool. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Chase.
Thank you very much. And thanks to everybody for the birthday wishes this week. It was Wednesday, but I've really it's been humbling to get some tweets on X from you
it's
guys.
birthday month now.
Yeah,
we don't do birthdays.
I know. It is birthday month. That is for sure. Coming up next, it is time for What Day Is It in Celebrity Birthdays. And I'm also excited about this because Greg Pogue is going to join us and do this. And it's very special for me, and I'll tell you why. We will do that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe live in Albany here on this Friday. As we go to the break, though, we're going to give something away, Dr. Cranks. We like to do that. Caller number 5 at 615-737-1025. We'll go see my Atlanta Braves take on the Los Angeles Angels at Truist Park coming up next Thursday, July 3rd. Caller number 5, a 4-pack of tickets to see the Bravos take on the Angels at Truist Park next Thursday, July 3rd. It's perfect for the 4th. You can also get $10 general admission tickets. It's the T-Mobile Summer Steal Deal. Choose from one of 3 seating locations and enjoy a game ticket, snack, and drink for as low as $30. So you can check that out. Just go to Braves.com. But you can win tickets by calling 615-737-1025. Celebrity birthdays coming up next. 1025, 1063 The Game. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 the game here on this Friday. We are in Albany, New York. We're at the Rivers Casino. Really appreciate them for having us, and we really appreciate AF1 and the Nashville Cats for having us. I got to tell you, before we get to what day is it, celebrity birthdays, I don't even think these guys realize it, but this is kind of a special moment for me. It's kind of full circle, and I was digging through the archives, and I found something very entertaining. Dr. Crane, if you please. God. One of the many funny opens we had back in the day. It's been at least 10 years since the three of us have been on the air at the same time. I was your producer way back in the day when we were on 94.9 doing the morning show, and did a lot of stuff that people didn't care about, and then did some stuff that people did care about.
And look at you done grown up.
I have, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Have you?
No. I'm like, what's that Benjamin Bratt that starts as an old guy and goes all the way?
Benjamin Button.
Thank you. Something like, what did I say?
The actor Benjamin Bratt.
Whatever. I don't know.
Eric Chesterfield.
Yeah, Garrett Chesterfield.
But the best was the segment was what day is it, and celebrity birthdays that we were told not to do because nobody cared about it, and so we did it anyway.
Joe, that was that whole thing, we had so much fun with it, and I listen to you guys now. Yeah,
everybody hated it, and I was like, let's once consultants.
No, not everybody. The bosses hated it.
Yeah, once the bosses hate something, you got something good going on there. My gosh, Greg Pogue with us.
Yeah, so we're excited to have Greg.
Well, hey, thanks for having you guys up here. I stepped out of the owners' meetings to do this, and it's a lot of stuff to care. We're got the championship game. You guys are going to be doing it on 102.5 and 93.3.
Yep.
Great to have you guys up here for not only to this right next door, the owners' meetings, and also this casino.
Oh, it's very nice.
I mean, it's right. It's Schenectady, Albany, and it's right on the Mohawk River, and
it's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's. I have something. It's. I got you something here.
What do you got over there?
Located at the picturesque Mohawk Harbor near the heart of downtown Schenectady, Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady features 1,050 slots, 60 slots. What? I don't know. I was in there last night. Anyway, the casino offers. I saw plenty of slots. Okay.
Number 3.
Okay. We're being pulled. I'm being yanked right now off the air. Okay, good. Anyway, no, these people have been great for us, and it's a wonderful place, and they got us in a premium spot. So
that's a good read. That was from the heart. That was a really good read.
It was right there, man. I didn't get halfway through it.
Working for you, like they're working for the Lord. A lot of inside jokes going on, but that's okay. With that, let's get to what day is it at celebrity birthdays. It's brought to you by Jarrett Companies, Inc. All of your commercial construction needs under one roof. JarrettCompaniesInc.com, above and beyond industry standards.
All
Dr.
right,
Crane, take it away.
First on the list, we have Happy Birthday to You Day. That's today. Happy belated birthday to Chase McClain.
That was Wednesday.
Decide to be married day. So there's that today. Drive your Corvette to work day. I don't know if any of y'all have a Corvette, but it's a wonderful car.
Greg does.
Do you?
Well, they're made in Bowling Green, so yeah, I got 4 or 5.
Today is Helen Keller Day. So there's that. Industrial Workers for the World Day. Love that. International Bingo Day. You guys will be doing that here in a little bit. National Cream Tea Day is today. So if you like cream tea.
Excuse me?
Yeah, cream tea. National Cream Tea Day. It looks like cream fresh and some English muffin and chocolate. So put that all together.
Oh, you and your cream.
That's what it says. National Food Truck Day today. Love that. Let's see. National Ice Cream Cake Day. Oh, this is a lot of them. Okay. National Indian Pudding Day is today. I don't know if anybody eats Indian pudding. Looks pretty good. National Onion Day. National Orange Blossom Day. Let's see. Sunglasses Day is today. And to wrap it up, we have National HIV Testing Day. So go get tested.
All right. Thank you there, Dr. Green. With that, time for celebrity birthdays. Our first birthday, Beach Boy, Bruce Johnston.
Wait a minute. Am I in this contest?
You go first.
Who am I going against?
Chase.
Oh, okay.
Craig, you go first. Bruce Johnston from the Beach Boys.
77.
78.
83. The guy that's ruined the Star Wars franchise, J.J. Abrams. The
82.
56.
59.
That's close.
Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire.
42.
44.
50. Greg's favorite, Khloe Kardashian.
You still stalking her?
Kim.
No, one of them. 35.
36.
41. R&B singer, Her. H-E-R. Her is her name.
She's great. She's wonderful. 32.
I was going to say something, but I'm not now. 30.
28. Chase is on the board with one. Good job there. Actress Julia Duffy from Newhart.
70.
I have no idea who that is. So 72.
74. Chase up 2-0.
Nice job.
Chase's second favorite singer behind Taylor Hicks, Lori Morgan. Today's Lori Morgan's birthday.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, I go first every time?
Yes.
All right. 62.
67.
66. Chasers up 3-0, rolling on this day. Let's see who else here. Oh, singer Lee Nash of Sixpence None the Richer. Don't she live in Nashville?
Yeah, they do.
Lee Nash.
Did one of them get in trouble? I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah. All right. 50.
That's a good guess. I'll say 52.
49. Pogues on the board. 3-1. Christian rock singer Zach Williams.
50.
48.
47. Chasers up 4-1. Actor Drake Bell from Drake and Josh.
Who dat?
Drake
The
Bell.
Disney show.
Oh, like I said, who dat? You want to go first?
Sure.
I don't have a clue.
32.
36.
He's 39. All right, 4 sports birthdays here. Johnny Benson Jr.
The race car driver.
60.
63.
62. Chase up 5-1. The rifleman, Greg, Chuck Person.
53.
55.
61. NFL linebacker for the Seahawks, Bobby Wagner.
42.
39.
35. Our last birthday, Jim Edmonds. Come on, Greg.
48.
49.
55 years old. With that being said, Chase wins 5-1. Well done.
Greg, thanks so much for doing this. Thanks for having us here. Seriously, we're excited about it. And, of course, we'll have coverage of the AF1 Arena Crown Championship game between the Albany Firebirds and your Nashville Cats.
Yeah, and thanks to Carm, 93.3 has been our station. You guys have done all the home games. Nick Guerrero and I on the road doing them. And thought it'd be just great to have you guys up here, not only for this and to be part of this. You're going to the banquet tonight.
Thank you.
And so, yeah.
So does
fun.
this mean your sidelines tomorrow? Is that what we're
I
doing?
am in I don't want to say it. I am in an owner's suite. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
All right.
So
real quick before I let you go, the last 2 weeks in Clarksville, I know you worked tirelessly about that, but what would you say to the people of Clarksville?
Amazing. And I think it's regional. It's just not Clarksville. We had a lot of folks coming up from Nashville, the area, that whole corridor. We did 5,300, 5,278, the first one. This last one, we did 50, what did we do, Nick? 58, 55, 56. And, right at an 85, 98% capacity. And, yeah, I think we closed strong. A lot of conversations where we're going to be next year.
Right.
Yep. So,
Well done.
Oh, nice shirt. Okay. Yeah. Merchandise. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there is. Thank you. Nick Guerrero's over here. Yeah, you can go to NashvilleCats.com and you can get merchandise. And there is AF1 playoff T-shirt. Now there's going to be a champion when we win the championship as well.
This is my favorite cat shirt because you gave it to me.
Wow.
Yep.
So
Well done.
I appreciate
Thank you, Greg.
that.
Hey, thanks, guys.
That is going to do it for us. Again, pregame starting at 11:30 tomorrow on both 93.3 and 102.5 The Game. That's going to do it for us. DVD coming up next.
Yeah, to our guys out there, we message every show. If you were struggling, and we love you guys, we talk to you all the time. Please talk to somebody. Please talk to someone. Open up on your cell phone. You can call or text 988. Please talk to somebody. As I say all the time, our world is a better place because you are here. Know that. Know that we love you, and more important than anything else in this world, God loves you.
He walked away, but he never hit an out time before. Why would he do it now? TBD is coming up next here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.